Captain Invisible here, and welcome to turn number 9 of the Swissmod custom campaign for Medieval 2 Total War. So let us jump into this. It should be a fairly chilled turn this turn. There's not a lot going on. We do have a diplomatic message from the Peace and Love Empire, just looking to get a ceasefire and trade rights, which I will happily accept. Since our previous deal with the Peace and Love Turks, we were looking for a ceasefire anyway. Not looking for an alliance just yet, but at least it puts us on a level playing field with the rest of the nations of this hot seat. And then we've got a Thieves Guild wanting to set up shop in Napoleon, which we will accept as well. The Thieves Guild allows for better training of spies, I believe. Yeah, spying. That's fine. So that will be quite useful, because we do want a lot of spies in this campaign. I shall show you why in later on in this turn. The end of turn report, we are still top financially, which is quite amusing. But yeah, now that we've got a few more settlements, Napoleon and Kaiser, we can really start to use that money and use that financial power to start pumping out some really good buildings and get some start upgrading our military structure as well. In terms of the rest of the stats, the Dutch Empire is still top militarily. We've got the Swissmanian Empire now top in production and population, and then the Lionhearts are top overall. So a nice shift in these stats. I believe it was the Peace and Love and the Russian empires that were top mainly. We'll be able to look at these stats in more details a bit later on as well. And then a message to say that we have ceased hostilities with the Peace and Love Empire, so we are free to move about and do our own thing without repercussions from them. So we're going to start by moving these peasants back to Napoleon. I don't need them over there, so they might as well chill out in Napoleon down here. And then what we want to do whilst we're at Napoleon is get these two town militia, which have been recently retrained, so they're at full strength, and then all of my cavalry, which needs retraining, and we're going to move them all to Kaiser. This will allow us to retrain the town militia here, which will we can't train town militia here normally, but because we've got a leather tanner, we're going to be able to upgrade their defences and give them some armour upgrades, which should help them become a bit stronger in this campaign. We also have this cavalry that we need to retrain, but unfortunately it's going to take us 4 turns or so to retrain cavalry, and we're gonna need a better stables to do that. For now, what we're going to do at Kaiser is upgrade the castle. This will allow us to, first it allows us to upgrade our pool of mailed knights, so we should be able to retrain our mailed knights next turn. But more importantly, it will give us access to the better garrison quarters, which will give us access to the armoured sergeants. We can already do the spear sergeants. Well, at least we would be able to, because this has been recently upgraded to Wooden Castle. I think it's still a bit thrown off by its upgrade, so it's going to be a turn before we can do any spear sergeant upgrades. But it will allow us, as a castle, the next garrison quarters upgrade from the castle will allow us to do armoured sergeants, which will be very useful in this campaign. As far as my other things, I can't really remember what I wanted to do. As I say, it's a pretty chill turn, this turn. All I'm mainly doing is retraining all of my town militia, and then hopefully I'm going to feed them towards Kaiser to upgrade their defences, just to make them a bit stronger in this campaign for the auto-resolve. We do have a ship here. I don't know where this ship was going, but we could use it in this area. In fact, funny enough, what I could use it for is collecting one of these spies. I believe this one will do. Collecting this spy, and then we're going to send it over to the mainland just to keep tabs on our fellows, because I know that the English and the Peace and Love are at war now, and as you can see, there's a lot of English force over here, really looking to push forward and do some damage. So it's going full force over in this land, which is why I wanted the hell out of Dodge. Being stuck in this situation is quite a bad idea, especially since Swissman is moving northwards about here. I don't think he would ever push against the Lionhearts, but being trapped between Swissman and the Turks as England, or if I was here as a whole Roman Empire being trapped between the Turks and England, it really puts the entire campaign into perspective for you, and you end up getting crushed between two growing empires whilst you're trying to fight a defensive battle. You really want to be aggressive in this campaign, and really take land, conquer land, and be successful at it. The Russians certainly have made good headway up here, and as the Venice has pushed forward over here, and England coming all the way up from here, they start out round about here, so to push all the way up here, I didn't want to be trapped in that situation at all. So I believe that is actually everything. I've got a spare spy here. We're hopefully going to be able to maybe make a spy here. I don't think I want to be able to train spearmen here, really. I mean, I guess I could, but I think a brothel's going to be my next option, and then maybe the town guard, just to get spear militia. I don't really need the tax increasing because I am still making a lot of money. I mean, my projected funds are going to be slightly less than they were last turn, but I think for the most part I've still got a good grasp on the economy, and certainly when my port comes up, I will have a free trade with the Turks, which will increase the amount that Napoleon's able to do, because currently its trade is very poor. all its trading really is in its harvest. The farming income is all that's coming in from Napoleon. So as soon as I get trade routes set up, I should be in a stronger position. And that's pretty much everything I want to do this turn. As I say, it's just about spreading my forces, retraining my forces, rebuilding, and then we'll look to conquer some more lands. I did say I would show you the statistics of all of the factions. It looks like the Lionhearts took a huge increase last turn, so really doing really well for them last turn. So did Swissman, actually. The Swissmanian Empire increased quite a bit. We did increase quite a bit as well, but we're still really far down compared to the rest of them. Militarily, Venice did lose quite a lot of its military actually down here, and then it's sort of increased a little bit, but I think it must have taken a hit in a war with, I believe they're at war with the desert hobos, so they must have taken a hit there. Everyone else's militaries, it looks like, as far as the military goes, it looks like everyone's separating a bit more. You know, I remember them all being right down here, and it was, you know, really close, and then now it's sort of spreading out a bit, so people are losing, you know, Swissman losing some in his conquering of settlements. Again, we lost some trying to conquer Napoleon. So yeah, it's starting to spread out a bit more now, but still the Dutch Empire still being the commanders of the military. Production, yeah, Swissman and the Lionhearts really increasing there. We also increased quite a bit, but yeah, those two really jumping, you know, straight from down here all the way up, just in a basically almost a straight shot upwards. Pretty impressive there. Territorial, Russia is still, well, no, Russia did lose one. I wonder which one they lost. I wonder if they're actually fighting the Turks, like properly fighting the Turks. I thought it was just a naval battle, but yeah, I wonder if they've taken. I wonder if the Turks have taken one of the settlements. That's interesting. No, in fact, that's a lie. That's a lie because they've not increased at all, the Turks. So it's more likely that it was either Swissman or potentially the Venetians, because the Venetians increased by one settlement. The Dutch Empire increased by one settlement last turn, and the Russians have decreased by one. So yeah, I wonder. In fact, no, the best way to do this would be to check diplomacy. Yeah, that would be handy. Right, it must have been the Turks, because the Russian Empire is not against anyone else. It's just not updated their thing yet. Unless it rebelled. It could have always just rebelled, but I find it hard to believe that he wouldn't have managed his settlement to the point where it wouldn't rebel. I generally don't consider rebellion a factor. It's a bit interesting. Financially, we are still top. Is in fact still way ahead of everyone else. But that's because we really haven't had a lot to spend our money on. As you can see, we just had this moment where we're just increasing because we didn't have anything to spend our money on. No real military power, no settlements to spam money at. It's been a slow turn. We have increased our population though to basically what it was before the loss of Ringo, probably. Up. That must have been when I lost Genghis. And then yeah, Ringo was quite a large settlement, so yeah, the drop there must have been Ringo, then Orwell, and then up to when we captured Napoleon. So yeah, we are still going up. So yeah, we are still way behind in terms of these statistics, but we are increasing steadily. So we're not doing too bad, but we're not really doing too great either. And the Turks are now finally at war with the rebels, so they must be taking some rebel settlements at least. Probably Chavez. I can imagine that's probably Turkish. In fact, you can see on the map this area of green here, which is definitely, I believe it's Chavez here. And then there's a castle down here, which is probably owned by the Turks as well. I can't quite see how far the green border goes. But the Peace and Love Empire are now at war with quite a few people. England, the Lionhearts, the Swissmania Empire, and the Russian Empire, all at war with the Turks. And as I say, the war between Russia and the Turks must have cost Russia a settlement. That must be the reason why it's decreased. The desert hobos again, against the Dutch Empire. So everyone's finally going to war with people. The wars are finally starting, and we're about to see some very interesting fights going on. I'm going to keep a close eye on things with my spies and just have a look at things. Again, we just need to retrain our military, boost it up, and then we can start to really play our part in these wars. Because I don't want to be the kind of guy that sits back and waits for an opening and then strikes out. I want to play an active part in the wars. I just need to pick my part carefully, because I've already got burnt in this campaign once before. I'm not clearly the best auto-resolve player, so I need to play very cautiously, and just watch the diplomacy, because at the moment it's sort of Swissman, the Lionhearts, and the Russians against the Turks, and we're kind of surrounded on all sides by all of these people, so we need to pick our enemies carefully and decide where we go from there. For now, that's pretty much everything I needed to do this turn. Again, it's just been a short, slow turn, and just a lot of discussion about what's been going on. We can finally end the turn and pass it on to the Dutch Empire. So we're going to save it as turn 9. Let's get that right. So turn 9 as the Dutch Empire. There we are. So yeah, that was turn number 9 of the Northmen turn of the Swissmod Hot Seat. Check out the other players' turns, and especially check out that war going on between the Lionhearts and the Peace and Love Empire, because I think that is going to be quite an interesting engagement. I say we'll be watching it very carefully, and we will be playing our part somewhere down the line, but for now we're just building up and progressing from here. Now that we have Napoleon, we should be able to make some headway in this campaign. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all in the next video.